Yo, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about once you have published the ads and you're up and running, what you should be expecting and how you should make sure everything runs okay in the first few days. So you should have set the expectation with your client that you're not going to book jobs off the bat. It's going to take, like, I always say, like a week or so before we see some jobs getting booked. Even though it sometimes is shorter than that, I just want to make sure that I cover myself in case anything goes wrong. So what you want to be doing is looking at your ads manager like this. Just like this is £130 in ad spend, but if this was like £20-30 is when I'll be looking just to see if anything's happened. So what I want to make sure, the main things is I don't want to see a lead in my niche. I don't want to see a lead above £10 to £15. If my cost per lead is that high, then I'm going to have to rethink, potentially end the working relationship with my client if he doesn't have any better videos, and not in a rude way, but just say, until we come up with some, basically say, until you have better videos, I can't work with you because I'm not going to get you results. But hopefully things work well. We get these leads coming in, and then I'll check down to my ad set, and eventually I'll be looking at creating a lookalike audience as I have here and getting these really low cost per leads. But initially, this was my first ad set, which I published. It was doing fine. I was getting 25 leads. I was getting leads at around, to start with, it was like £3.50. Then it creeped up to £5.50, and now it's gone down to £4.60. So as long as it's not over £10, I'm not too bothered. Depending on how good the creative is and how affluent the area is, that's what it's going to be like. So I just checked it, made sure the video ad was getting most of the leads. I'm just going through my thought process right now, and just making sure that the leads aren't going crazy. So yeah, I would always recommend to have a video and an image, because you can sometimes creep a few leads through the image. Definitely worth your time. But the whole point is you don't want leads to be crazy high, depending on your niche. Like if you're in like a completely different niche where you're looking for people to buy like a house or like a car, then or just something really expensive, then leads are obviously going to be more than £10. But if you're in like a, I don't know, any niche where I can't even talk for other niches, but in my niche is £10 to £15. In your niche, do some research on people that are doing service delivery in your niche and see what kind of lead costs they're getting. And then just say, whatever happens, if you get to £100 in ad spend and your client hasn't, not necessarily had to have booked a job, depending on what niche you're in. If you're in chiropractors, then probably definitely should have. Although I'm not in that niche. Let me stop talking about things I don't fully understand. But after £100, if you haven't seen any good results or reason to continue, lock it with your client straight away, because if you keep it going, they're going to just think, oh, wasting their money for no reason. And even though like it sounds selfish, £100 is not that much money, and you did what you can. And as long as you actually worked hard to try to get them results, £100, they'll live. You know what I mean? They're not going to die. It's not the end of the world. And at least you tried to do it, because as long as you followed the steps, there's no reason it shouldn't have worked. So initially, in the first week, 2 weeks, just make sure those leads aren't crazy high. If they are, you're going to have to do something about it. I'm going to make a video on that in the probably coming up either next or in the next few anyways. But yeah, everything should be running okay. Your biggest problem starting when you publish the ads is going to be communication with your client. So just make sure you're up to date on that, because you don't want them panicking and thinking that your services don't work as soon as you haven't got them a job booked in the first 2 minutes. So make sure you're communicating with your client, letting them know everything's okay, soothing them softly, but just letting them know that everything's fine and it's running how it should be and you're used to this. Give it aura of professionalism, and don't come across like, don't just ignore them as soon as you publish the ads. You want to be texting them and saying, hi, a few leads came in today, or like, hi, no leads came in today, but I'm happy with the performance of the ads. Should expect to get some leads in the following days. You want to be saying things like that, so just keep them up to date and make sure they're not panicking and think that you've run away with their money or anything like that. So the biggest problem is going to be keeping your client happy, even in the first week or so when nothing is happening. So, and like I said, if you get to £100 in ad spend and nothing's happened, and you don't necessarily have to book a job, but if you haven't really got any leads coming in and the leads you have got in are really bad quality, then I would probably suggest locking it off with your client and just saying, either rethinking things and trying again if your client's up for that, you don't want to waste more than £100 in someone's money if you don't know what you're doing. Go back, learn service delivery again, drop me a comment or use my link to get high level for 2 weeks, and I'll get on a one-on-one call with you and show you what you're doing wrong. Or just drop me a comment and I'll do it anyways. But you don't want to be wasting more than £100 in someone's money. The biggest problem is going to be keeping your client happy and make sure the leads aren't getting crazy high straight away. And you also want to keep an eye on Go High Level and the conversations that your client's having with your leads. Don't know why, it'll just be fun. But your client might have a few problems getting onto Go High Level and sorting all of that out. So if you can see they're not responding to leads like straight away, just send them a text and saying, hi, could you respond to a few leads in Go High Level nicely, obviously. But yeah, there's not really been much of a script or anything like that to this video. It's just been saying a few things to look out for when you first start running the ads and everything goes to plan, hopefully. But there are going to be problems in this first week that you're going to have to think on your feet and deal with. It's part of owning an agency. And yeah, if you push through the pain of it, then your next client will be easier. After that will be easier. And then after that will be even easier until you iterate and come up with a service which is pretty lean and just works perfectly and you're used to it by now. But I would say one of your biggest issues is going to be your client and Go High Level. Your client, some of my clients have been really confused, especially if they're a bit older, on getting onto the app, texting people, understanding how the pipeline works and all of that. So that has probably been the biggest problem with which I've experienced. And the best way I found to combat it is in that initial call, which I spoke about in the last video, just making sure that they fully understand it before you leave and not telling them too much at once. Just tell them the basics. So yeah, that's all for this video. If you want a one-on-one call with me, use the link to get Go High Level in the description and show me proof of that. And then I'll get on a call with you for absolutely free, no cost. And then we can discuss everything you need to know when it comes to service delivery or outreach or anything like that you might need help with in your agency. I'm not a guru, none of that, but I have signed 6 clients and I'm doing all right as an agency owner at 18 years old. So I like to think I'm a bit more relatable than some of these people that are doing crazy numbers with their agency, which hopefully we can get to one day. But I'll see you in the next video talking about what to do if your lead ads are getting really high cost per lead. And thanks for watching this. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.